How's it going, guys? James Nelson here, back with another episode of Writer on Writing. But on this episode, it's a little special because this is not going to be about a writer. This is going to be about a painter that I've been studying and doing research on. His name is Michelangelo Merisi da Caravaggio. And so, well, most people just know this artist as Caravaggio. And the just little tidbits about this guy. He is one of the Renaissance painters that I like the most. I'm just looking at his art and the paintings he's done. I'm gonna put it in the video. I'm gonna go ahead and just put little images of some of his paintings because I really like this guy's style. He has a way about when he paints. He draws your eye in by the way he uses light, the way he highlights certain parts of the canvas, and the way it's just done is nobody did it like this before him, and then after him it became like a style that everybody started following ever since he did it. But this guy's kind of crazy because Caravaggio was the original bad boy painter. And when I say bad boy, I don't mean just like a bad, like, uh, oh, he's got issues. No. This guy would walk around carrying swords and picking fights with people. He's been arrested multiple times for fighting, for doing dumb shit. And okay, a story that I like to tell that I found out about this guy is kind of funny. So, well, not, I'll just tell it. So, there's another man fell in love with a girl that Caravaggio used to paint all the time as like she was a they didn't say she was a prostitute, but she wasn't exactly like a high class woman herself. But this other guy wanted to marry her, so he goes to this girl's mother and tells the mother that her daughter had been posing for Caravaggio and hanging out with him all the time. So the mother gets mad and pulls the daughter away from Caravaggio. And like that night when when this guy was walking around at night, somebody came up and stabbed him in the back. In the middle of the night, and nobody was like, everybody knew who it was, everybody knew it was Caravaggio, but there was no evidence he did it, so he got away with it. So this guy, how many painters you know will walk up and stab you in the back in the middle of the fucking night? Because you ratted on his dime piece at the time, basically. So that's one story about Caravaggio that's crazy. But the last one was like Caravaggio. He got into it with another guy who was like a thug at the time, and so he challenged the guy to a sword fight. And so they duel in the middle of the town or whatever is going on. So they're having a sword fight, and Caravaggio ends up killing this guy. And he was such a good painter, and that's what people knew him about at the time, that he went on the run because there was a contract for him for dead or alive. So there were a bunch of bounty hunters trying to find Caravaggio to collect the money that they would make if they killed him or brought him in alive. But Caravaggio was so good as a painter, and like it was the church that kept hiring him to paint all kinds of different things. And so he actually worked on a pardon from murder by just painting new frescoes and different like works of art for he wasn't a pope at the time, but he was a high cardinal that was in line to become a pope, had during the 1600s. And so that's the crazy thing about this guy. He was such a good painter that everybody loved his paintings and loved his artisticness. But he was such a loose cannon, and like this guy caused so many fights and so many brawls. He got himself thrown in jail all these different times, and he kept getting out because the cardinals and the pope loved his work, so they would bail him out of jail and let him do what he was gonna do. But yeah, this is the only painter I know that actually killed somebody and fucking got a pardon because he was a great painter. How badass do you have to be? Like, imagine that today. If like the president pardons you because you're so good at something, but you killed somebody. That is nuts. It wouldn't happen today, but that's how we got. That's how they got down in the 1600s. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and leave during this little informative little essay. I'm gonna go ahead and put different paintings of his on here, splice it through, so you can see why this guy, his Mike, he is not the Michelangelo that you know from that everybody says. His first name is Michelangelo, but everybody knows this guy is Caravaggio, and yeah, crazy. All right, guys, that's all I wanted to talk about, but I'll see you again.